morning, Anouck. So nice to see you. I am so excited. I've been wanting to chat to you about what we're going to chat about now for like a million years. And I forgot the last time we were chatting to have this conversation because we were focused on something else. So I'm so excited that we're doing this now because I want to talk to you about TikTok. And you have had an extraordinary experience over the last few months, or last, I don't know, however long it's been, where you've had a TikTok campaign go viral and you've brought a product to life that was imaginary in TikTok. Is that right? Am I getting that right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So where should we start? Let's maybe go back to the beginning and you tell us the story.
Yes, the beginning, I think it was in the pandemic, and we had this intern, and she said, "Have you heard about TikTok?" And I'm like, "No, I have not." I had no idea what it was. It was really early on early on, I guess, for me, 2020. And she's like, "You gotta be on TikTok." We opened a TikTok account. She showed me like kids dancing with their dads, and that was the trend. And it really fascinated me. I tried to put some of my time in there, and it was a complete fail. Like, while I love to look the trends, all of that, it is quite addictive, the scroll. And um I saw something. We tried. I think what didn't work is we just repurposed the content we were creating for Instagram and Facebook, and just like, okay, we have these beautiful assets on Instagram. Let's now put them on TikTok, put a fun music on them, and the hashtags, right? FYP for you page, and let's hope it goes viral, right? And that clearly did not work. We then understood how the platform works. I think for TikTok, it's not about quality, it's about quantity. And it's about
quantity in terms of the number of videos that you're putting on rather than
correct.
Okay.
Correct. Like, don't try to be perfect, right? Just like tack, put, post. I think what's really important is to be on the platform and understand what's trending. Now, what's trending this week is not trending next week. It's not trending the week after. So you got to act fast. If you're going to spend like 30 days to make a video on TikTok, that trend is like over. That's like so last year. It's a faster pace, and you really need to understand what is going on in the platform. About the product that we launched, it was also in the pandemic. You remember, people were in the homes. We were in New York, making sourdough bread and all of that kind of thing, because we were like, oh my God, I have so much time now. Literally, I don't know. Really, was it more time? But people were also making a bunch of other stuff besides sourdough bread. One of them was pancakes. So this woman, Sydney, didn't have enough batter to make big pancakes. So she made, like, with her leftover batter, tiny pancakes, like as big as my thumb. And what she did is she basically made those tiny ones, put them in a bowl, and started eating it with like maple syrup, like cereal. Went viral. People started doing it. That trend, pancake cereal, had 1.7 billion views.
Wow.
Yeah. And we're like, oh my God, this is really, really cool. And why is it taking them so long to make it? Really, people were like, I love this trend. Took me 2 hours to make it. Never doing this again, right? Like, they did it for the trend, to post about it, to say, I'm cool. I posted about it. It's not like they were going to do this every single morning to eat, right? And so we're like, we can totally commercialize this and make it into a ready-made product. Now, our ethos for our brand is delicious, quick and easy, and an upgrade from what else is on the market in ingredients, in quality, in product, in taste, in flavor. It's totally within our brand to give you back time. Like, say, hey, you spent 2 hours on this. This is like a minute in the microwave, and it probably tastes better. So that's really what we did. We brought it to life last month at Target. Blew up. I think it was reviving that trend, and people were so excited. I actually have a box in the fridge. Do you want to see it?
Oh, grab one. Yes.
I'll go grab one. So this is it, pancake cereal. And it comes, you see the viral trend brought to life. It comes in the little baggies. And the only thing you have to do is like literally open, put it in the microwave, or put it in a bowl with milk. And in the back, we also explain like what to do, how to eat. And yeah, giving moms back the time.
And being very on brand with what your products already were, in that you already had waffles, crepes, pancakes, so it was not like a product that was completely like you had nothing to do with pancakes. I mean, you were already in this breakfast space.
I think, most of my learning from TikTok now is that most trends, there was a huge feta trend. People were taking the feta to eat it on pasta and making this dish that went viral. Then feta was like, no more feta in any store in the US. That was something that happened. A lot of products like that, where it's a trend and people go buy it in the stores. This was one of the first products where it was a trend and we commercialized that trend.
Made it into a product that didn't exist yet.
Exactly. Yeah. And TikTok found that fascinating as well. But I think it's, showing that innovation, right, is everywhere. And now social media is totally a place where you should be looking for innovation. I think, we always think about innovation in a very linear way. Like if I have a pancake, maybe I'll make a chocolate chip pancake, or I don't know, red velvet for Americans. I'm not sure, but I think looking at it in a totally different lens is what's going to make brands stand out in the future. Fast forward, we also have now a person that does our social media and is a TikTok expert. On his first week, we had a TikTok video go viral. I think it has like 2 million or 1.67 million views now. It was my first day at Belgian Boys, and then well, actually I can show you. It's really cool. Wait, so it's this one. You know what? I love that this is the one that went viral also, because like if you read the 750 plus comments, it's like, yes, I love it. Where can I apply? Women-led companies crush and look good doing it. So much fun. Yes, CEO here, my literal dream. I feel so seen. Goosebumps soon. Oh my God. Love that. Claiming it, but with glam. I want to work there. Goes on and on and on.
And that is amazing, because there is not one single thing about your product in that ad. There is nothing obvious that says this is what we do, this is who we are, but there is a connection there with hooking into a bigger conversation and a bigger vibe, right?
Right. I think what works well on TikTok is when you find trends on TikTok and translate them to your brand. And your brand, exactly what you called out, doesn't mean like taking your product and doing like this, like that's not going to go, because that is clearly you trying to sell something. People on TikTok, I mean, I'm generalizing here, but just like you don't like to be sold things on Instagram and on Facebook, right, with those ads, like you go on TikTok not to buy. It's not like you go on Amazon. You go on Amazon because you're going to buy something. On TikTok, you go for entertainment. You go to scroll and to find funny videos that make you laugh. Seriously, that's what you do. It's entertainment. Provide entertainment for that consumer, something that they can say that they want to share with their friends, they want to like, and they want to comment on. And I think when you try to sell too much, which is what we're doing in the beginning, like repurposing other assets that we had, it just didn't work at all.
And do you think then for something like TikTok, I mean, I love what you were saying about you need to connect into bigger trends that are already existing and that trends change every week.
Yep.
Like, what was popular this week is not popular next week. So, but connecting your brand into the sense of repositioning it alongside an existing trend that's happening in order to get people to share that your video, your brand asset. Talk me through how you think then about levering that brand asset that you've got. So you've got a video now that's really nothing to do with Belgian boys, but other than like, if there's a cool vibe around working for your company. Tell me then how you think about translating that, because what are you trying to achieve from that video? Because I think this is what also people miss.
Well,
because we've just said, well, we're not necessarily trying to sell you something right now this second, but we are trying to do something. What is that something?
So, okay, I love this question. I mean, I think the fact is that when you see a brand show you something, you're always going to think they're trying to sell me something, right? Like it's a brand saying, even if I say Happy Monday as Belgian Boys on Twitter, Belgian Boys said it. Like, obviously, they want me to go to their thing and to buy, right? I think so. Our mission at Belgian Boys, our purpose is we spark happiness, moments of happiness for our consumer. And when I talk about that, it's not only when you eat it, it's about the whole experience. It's about giving back time, but it's also, I cannot spark happiness if I don't have the happiness inside, right? It is what we breathe in our culture, in our DNA. We're on this scaling mode. It also comes through in our recruiting, in our building our team. We went from a team of 5 before the pandemic to a team of 25 today. I'm very, very lucky to have these amazing leadership positions and amazing team members that had worked at these amazing companies like Mondelez, Kind, Danone. Is a TikTok relating to them joining our company? No, but it adds, right? It adds to that brand momentum that is going on. Like that video was shared with a lot of people. And I mean, this is one of them. We have other videos that were shared 700,000 times, 400,000 times. So I think it's part of the buzz and the momentum that goes on in the whole brand, right? From launching the TikTok to expanding distribution to me sharing that on TikTok, on LinkedIn, and people like you asking me to come talk about it and me coming here to explain it. It just grows our brand as a result as well. I'm a big believer of that.
And you're building a community, aren't you? You're building a community of people who recognize your brand, but can also identify with what you're trying to achieve. And I love what you just said about our whole brand is about trying to spark happiness. So whether you eat our cereal or not, or you eat our breakfast products or not, we are trying to be a positive force for good in the world that's bringing some happiness.
Yes.
And that's our mission. And hopefully, people will join you on that mission and also eventually maybe buy from you too. But I love that there's some kind of purpose that is beyond. And I think this is another one of these magic gems. There's some kind of bigger purpose, bigger sense of mission that's beyond just buying from us.
For sure. I mean, this is a lot of work that we did in the beginning of last year. We established our strategy, and we did it on the Jim Collins Good to Great. So there's the 3 circles, the hedgehog concept. What is your core purpose? What can you be best at in the world? And what is your financial driver? And that's how we look at everything that happens through that lens at Belgian Boys. That's how we make decisions. We need to hit the middle of those 3 as many times as possible. And sometimes we hit 2 of them. But the more we do, that is right in the middle at the intersections of those three, the more we're able to build our brand, right? And to have it shine to our community, to the people that want to be a part of our adventure. And strongly recommend that exercise as well. It really, really, I think, made it laser focus and so clear for our team and for ourselves what, I think it was a very good exercise. Like, what do we do and what don't we do? Right? Because we tend to do a lot of things that are just not those game-changing things.
Yeah, I mean, most businesses do, really. I mean, that's part of the problem, really, is we spend too much time on stuff that's not game-changing and very little time on the stuff that is, and we have to flip that ratio, don't we, in terms of, ideally the 80% spent on stuff that's really like very impactful and 20% on everything else.
Exactly.
And then it also helps you make decisions, doesn't it? Help you make a decision like, oh, should we make pancake cereal or not? Oh, does it? And then you've got a criteria for which to put your decision making through.
It's everything we talk about. I think it's also putting it on the scale of how big is this opportunity and how easy or hard is it for us to execute it on it, right? And that's also, I think, an important factor too.
How easy was it a sell to then go to Target and say, okay, I'm making pancake cereal?
Well, we have a great relationship. We have a great relationship with Target. They were really excited. I mean, we did bring, from their standpoint, they're trying to bring that Gen Z into the stores. It brings something else. It's exciting. It sparked a lot of hype, I want to say, and it's really on brand with their goals as well. So they were really excited. It's an LTO right now, and yeah, I'm excited to see what happens.
They were an easy yes then. They were an easy yes, we're doing this.
Well, easy. Nothing's easy, right? But
no, but I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? After our last conversation, we talked about, how long sometimes it takes to get no, we're getting so many no's before you get a yes. And then when you can present, once you've built some relationships and you've got, some strategic players on your side and you've got great innovative ideas, then it's easier to then bring them into play and into life.
Oh, for sure. They'll take a chance with you. They'll partner up with you, and they know the risk that this may well be like a total flop, right? But you go in there knowing, and I mean, it exceeded any expectations we had, to be honest, in terms of PR, in terms of consumer reviews as well for these SKU. And I think it's really, really cool. I'm super proud of our team and about like just bringing this to life and not saying.
Is it outselling everything else yet, or is it how is it performing against everything else?
It's a great seller for us. It's a great seller. I think it's brought a lot of new customers to the brand, people that might have seen our brand, but now are like, oh my God, this company is cool, right? Like, let me go and try it.
So what would you say to other founders and entrepreneurs who haven't had much, or maybe have had some experience of TikTok, but haven't had a lot of success with TikTok? What advice would you give them about finding their own, maybe not even with TikTok, but finding their own pathway with connecting on social media to their customer?
I mean, I think the big advice I could give is, if you want to make it a priority, you got to prioritize it from a resource perspective as well, meaning like we brought a team member in that does that, right? And it's actually really, really good at that. I mean, he does a lot of social media, not only TikTok, but we want TikTok to be a part of our strategy. And we brought somebody that himself is a big TikToker, that has a big audience on TikTok and that really enjoys that. When I or my head of marketing or other people were trying to do TikTok, we were not successful, right? And I think And I spent quite some time on it, and I was just like, okay, whatever. And then you gotta get, one right, and then it's a snowball effect. But then I would also really encourage, to put other team members on it, just to get inspiration, right? Like R&D came out of TikTok, right? That was like, another source of, I mean, maybe you can find partnerships on TikTok. Maybe you can find, strategies for supply chain. I don't know, things that are new customers on TikTok. If you have a small business and you're looking for new customers, so I think it's just be open to other things. It's not like, I think we're really stuck in this is another Instagram or this is another Facebook. It's not the same person on there, and they're not going there for the same reason, right? Facebook, you go to reconnect with old friends, in groups, like, things I bought at Costco and like ideas. You go on Pinterest for recipes and for pinning and for like boarding. You go on Instagram, well, because you want to see what your friends are doing that you are not, right? Or friends want to show off on what they're doing. And same for brands, picture perfect. TikTok is entertainment. It's completely different. It's as if like, it's kind of, I don't want to say TV, but I think
kind of.
TikTok
My
competes
kids watch
with,
it like it's TV.
right? I mean, kids watch YouTube, right, all day long, like stupid things. I mean,
Exactly.
I think, yeah, TikTok is a competitor of Netflix, if I believe so, because they fight for our attention.
100%.
And the consumer decide, am I gonna watch a Netflix 30 minutes one show or 2 hour video movie, or am I gonna spend 35 minutes scrolling on TikTok right now? And yeah.
So who's scrolling on TikTok right now? Is it just the Gen Zers, or have we got other demographics in the mix too?
We totally have other demographics there. I think most is Gen Z, like majority is Gen Z. Again, I'm not working at TikTok. I don't have those kind of stats, right? But there is, moms on there that are looking for like, fun things, sending it to their spouses.
Well, like the woman who made the pancake cereal
she was young. She was young. She wasn't a mom. She wasn't a mom. She was young. She was Gen Z, totally. But there are a lot of moms, a lot of grandparents on there as well. I think, well, with their younger, with their grandchildren, filming them, but creating these grandparent TikTok accounts. I think there's a bit of every demographic on there, but it's mostly this new one that is driving what's hot and driving the trends.
That's amazing, isn't it? For a generation that doesn't have a massive amount of pulling power economically, how significant they actually are in terms of driving commercial trends.
For sure, for commercial trends that translate into dollars, right? Like when Feta goes out of stock in every retailer in the US, and that started on TikTok, you're like, oh my God.
That's power. That's a lot of power.
And buyers seeing that like a few times already, now you say TikTok, they're like, oh my God, yeah, I want it in my stores, because they know it could be a very big financial driver.
Yeah, huge, like mind-blowingly huge.
Yep, exactly.
Pancake cereal, huge.
Boom.
It's amazing. I mean, huge kudos to you and the team for having the courage and the guts to go there, because not every brand would feel confident about taking something that is not real and saying, hey, we can make that real. I mean, that's a really ballsy move. And it's really exciting to see the interaction and finding like a groove. What I really love most about the Belgian Boys story is like finding a groove with your audience and your market. Because I think one of the hardest things I see for entrepreneurs when they're trying to scale and grow their business, it's like finding your slipstream. We call it, technically investors call it finding your low cost, highly growable channel, right? Very technically boring language to say. Finding your magic formula for marketing your business.
Going the next stage, yeah, for sure.
And figuring out where, what, how works for you.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the most challenging things for businesses that are trying to scale, is trying to find the right channel, the right way to market themselves and to position themselves in their space.
I agree with that. I think it's also that you keep looking for that thing, right? And that once you take out all the clutter, for us, it was, we started our business in 2015. So we've been doing this for quite some years now, right? And I want to say that we really started putting this together in 2021, or knowing what the hell we're doing, I want to say, right? Like, this is the magic formula. Now let's, we have enough data. Let's get to the moon. And it takes time. So being patient is part of it. But then that, for us, it was that strategy session to really be super clear. This is what we do, and this is what we are never going to do, right?
Yes.
Because if you don't say no to anything, you have no strategy. And that was like such a light bulb moment for me and for my team when I explained, like when we were talking about it, like, this is no, this is not us. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's really, really key, knowing what you have to say no to so that you can focus on what you say yes to. Yeah.
Exactly.
How critical do you think? So it's really interesting to me to hear you say, I've been in business for 8 years, really feeling like only the last 2 years, you're really finding your slipstream, finding your magic formula. And one of those things was having this strategy session, the Jim Collins strategy session. How critical do you think capital going into your business was for any of this kind of catalytic growth? Do you think it changed anything?
I think it enabled us to accelerate it once we found this, because we raised capital at the end of 2021. 2021. I'm like thinking about
already really still had found the groove, and then the capital in was able to fuel it.
Right, because and then we grew our team, we brought in leadership, etc. I think it's very important for this is my opinion, right? This is not how everyone does it, but I think for us it was really important to know like what the hell we're doing before we bring capital, because if you don't know what success means to you and you bring in a partner, then you might not even be aligned and you don't even know it, because you need to define, okay, for us, it was that refrigerated breakfast and we knew it in our gut. By then we had like 300 Walmart and 200 Targets that had started it just in June of 21 Target. Walmart was doing it for a year already. And we knew, okay, we have something special. This is what we need to do. And then we were like explaining that thing. That's where we see the opportunity. Before that, I don't think we were ready. And I think bringing in capital at that point would have, perhaps even never enabled us to do refrigerated breakfast. I don't know, my partner would have theoretically been. So I think it's super important to, in my opinion, to know the what, like the how you're going to get there and what you're going to do before you bring in a partner.
Well, I 100% agree, because what I often see happen is entrepreneurs thinking that money will fix all the problems in the business that you haven't solved yet.
Correct.
So that somehow if you haven't found your slipstream, or you haven't found your what, or haven't found your, this is our direction, this is how we're going to do this, this is what's got momentum. I think the thinking is that I will find it if I've got some money. And if I've got the money, then I will find these magic solutions. But the money actually doesn't, I don't think it actually helps. I think it hinders, because when you have very little money to play with, you have to
You
get
gotta
very
be
creative.
Yeah.
You have to get really disciplined.
Yeah.
You have to be very thoughtful about what you do and what you don't do. And you have to try a lot of stuff. And organically trying that stuff is much better than throwing a lot of money at stuff that
For
may
sure.
or not work.
For sure, because if you have the money, you're like, oh, this is a great opportunity. Your budget on all these
Yeah.
trial things is just 10 times
Huge.
higher. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean it is 10 times more likely to succeed, right?
No,
And I think, I mean, for us, that was a big aha moment. I mean, just because we had to, right? We just didn't
yeah.
have it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I do think at the same time, sometimes having the money makes us braver. And I think for women particularly, the flip side is we're scared about trying stuff. We get scared about failing. We get scared about putting stuff out there that's not perfect. Like, we'll take a month to make a video and, you know, all the moment's gone. And we're not brave enough. And I think sometimes we use money, money
Yeah.
as to try and make us brave. And to give us some safety nets. And I think that's the wrong perception. We've got to find our own inner bravery somewhere else, because I think it makes the failures bigger when you've got money in the mix. There's a lot more at stake.
Yeah, I think it was at EY this last year that I heard this sentence. We need to be comfortable. We need to become comfortable being uncomfortable. And I love that. And I think about it a lot. It's like, you know, uncomfortable moments lead to growth.
Yes.
It does. When you're totally comfortable and you know what you're doing, you know, there's not a lot of growth opportunity. You just do it. But when you're uncomfortable, it forces you to rethink a lot of things and to put yourself out there. Look at that as a growth opportunity, not as an uncomfortable moment. It's hard. It's really, really hard. It takes a lot of practice, for sure.
It does take practice. And we often used to joke that if the learning curve didn't feel like straight up, if it didn't feel like really, really steep, the learning curve we were on, we felt like we're probably not growing fast enough. Like, you know, when the learning curve feels really steep, you know you're on a really steep growth trajectory, right? Because you're learning a lot. So the faster you learn, the faster you can grow effectively.
I really like that. That's cool.
It's painful though.
In the moment. But then you can laugh about
Yeah.
it one day.
It's painful, but it's also exhilarating, right? There's something when you're in that zone of things that are happening because you're being pushed, or you know, you're having to learn things that you would rather not necessarily learn. You know, just the growth potential is exponential. And that's really, you know, that's when magic, I think that's when magic happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the fun part.
Yeah, it is the fun part, but it's scary and it's hard to want to embrace it. But I love that you found your slipstream. It's so exciting to see how your brand is growing and the amazing things that you're doing and the team that you're building that's behind it. And we are all absolutely cheering you on. And thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and your story. And my two takeaways, I think, are trends, understanding what's trending. Trending is a huge thing. Be on top of your trends, or get someone to be on top of your trends. I mean, maybe that's my second thing. It's like, you don't have to be good at everything, but
Sure.
putting people who are good at things that you're not good at to help you find your flow and help you find your group is where it's at.
I love it. Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. Great way to start my morning. And only good vibes.
Where can people follow you, Anouck? Where can people be in touch with you or follow the brand?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm active there, and you can find the brand on TikTok, on Instagram, I mean, on all social media platforms. And if you're in the US, You can find us in retailers across the nation at Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, Meijer, Costco, Kroger, and the list goes on.
Amazing, amazing. Anouck from Belgian Boys, everybody. Thank you so much, Anouck.